After all the headlines, perhaps no one would expect Afghanistan to have a forgotten paradise. The world's most intense battlefield keeps many hidden masterpieces that the other documentaries barely show. The vast sapphire lakes glow through barren limestone highlands like fallen pieces from the sky. Far beyond them, frozen corridors stretch between colossal mountains where the nature seems to be untouched by everything. Elsewhere, dark green forests cling to steep slopes. Above them, smoke rises gently from the wooden houses. Here people survive by turning caves into shelter, high pastures into lifelines, and dangerous roads into arteries of endurance. Even under bombardment and hardship, they keep moving, trading, rebuilding, and protecting fragments of beauty against the ruin around them. In this documentary, we will take you to the hidden sides of Afghanistan and witness the paradise that the world has forgotten. Afghanistan was formed at the meeting point of Central Asia, South Asia, and West Asia, where empires, caravans, religions, and armies crossed for centuries. Over time, it absorbed Persian, Greek, Buddhist, Islamic, and tribal layers into one of Asia's deepest civilizational landscapes. The beauty of Afghanistan begins with the force deep in the earth. The Hindu Kush rises like a stone spine through the nation, breaking the land into high plateaus, glacier valleys, narrow corridors, giant basins, and hidden pockets of green. That broken geography explains why Afghanistan holds some of the most extraordinary landscapes in Asia while remaining almost unseen by the wider world. In one region, dry limestone highlands suddenly open into sapphire lakes, divided by natural travertine walls. In another, colossal mountain corridors carry glaciers, rivers, snowfields, and high passes into a silent space. Elsewhere, deep gorges cut through granite-forcing roads and human movement to cling to cliff faces above immense drops. Farther south and west, the desert expanses spread beneath heat and wind. Its climate is severe and sharply varied. Winters can be brutal in the highlands. Summers can turn valleys and deserts fiercely dry. The weather can change as fast with altitude exposure and terrain. What makes Afghanistan unforgettable is the character of its people. They endure with pride, discipline, and an astonishing ability to root life inside danger. Mountain communities turn caves into homes, stone into shelter, and remoteness into protection. Nomads read wind dust and distance like a living map. The Afghan always welcome the guest with much hospitality. Even in regions marked by hardship, you are welcomed with tea-bread warmth and deep respect, because receiving a stranger is tied to honor and dignity. Across the country, Islam stands at the center of spiritual life. Yet regional cultures remain vivid, from carved wooden mountain settlements to ancient cities of tilework, poetry, craft, and memory. Afghanistan's culture feels stern, wounded, and deeply beautiful at once. Now the journey begins at Band-e Amir, Afghanistan's most surreal natural wonder. In the central highlands of Afghanistan, the lakes of Band-e Amir gather in silence, held within basins. A chain of blue appears on pale stone. Band-e Amir lie far from cities, where 6 lakes rest along the valley, each sealed by natural walls of pale travertine. Water glows in shifting tones, from deep sapphire to soft turquoise, changing with light and depth. No 2 lakes feel the same. Some hold a darker stillness, while others reveal submerged terraces beneath clear water. Wind moves lightly across the surface. Occasionally, a ripple disturbs the silence, then fades. Nature has created a masterpiece more beautiful than any man-made work. You should take the time to walk along the cliffs to admire the lake from above. From there, the stillness and clarity of the water create an almost surreal feeling. Yet they are all shared the same origin, forming by calcium-rich springs that slowly built stone barriers across the valley. Water gathered behind them, and time completed the design. For local communities, these waters are essential. They provide rare, fresh water in a drought region, supporting small fishing activity and seasonal grazing. But there is also a quieter meaning. In local belief, Band-e Amir carries a sacred presence, often linked to stories of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He was a prominent figure in Islamic history, one of the most respected companions of the Prophet Muhammad. Another very worthwhile experience is sitting with local families on picnics by the lake. In Band-e Amir, the joys of everyday life are clearly evident. Children run on the white stones, adults spread mats by the water's edge. The food is simple, but the atmosphere is very warm. As evening falls, a cool breeze sweeps across the water and the light softens on the cliffs. Band-e Amir offers him a rare, luxury, absolute tranquility. Beyond these blue basins, the land opens toward cliffs and memory where Bamiyan Valley begins to rise. Bamiyan Valley lies in central Afghanistan between high brown ridges and long fields of barley. It once stood on a branch of the Silk Road, where merchants, monks, and armies passed through cold mountain light. Between late antiquity and the early medieval centuries, the valley became a great Buddhist center. Monasteries spread through the sandstone walls. Chapels opened behind carved facades. Caves multiplied along the cliff, like a suspended city of prayer. Later, Islamic fortresses and settlements rose nearby, adding another layer of memory to the same earth. Then the Buddhas appeared. Two colossal figures were carved directly into the cliff, one taller, one slightly smaller, both facing the valley with solemn calm. Their bodies were hewn from sandstone, then covered with fine mud plaster, which creates bright pigment. Timber armatures helped hold the outer surface, giving the statues both monumentality and delicacy. However, in March 2001, the Buddhist statues in Bamiyan were destroyed by Taliban insurgents using explosives, artillery, and heavy firepower. The Taliban considered the statues idolatrous, contrary to their interpretation of Islam. Despite calls from UNESCO, the United Nations, and many Muslim countries to stop the destruction, the vandalism continued and became one of the most shocking acts of cultural heritage destruction of the 21st century. For local people, Bamiyan holds both practical and spiritual weight. The valley supports farming, local tourism, and small trade, all tied to its fame and landscape. And it also carries the memory of endurance. Preservation now moves through patience. Afghan authorities, Local workers and international teams stabilize the niches, document fragments, protect murals, and manage the wider archaeological park. A fascinating experience in Bamiyan is observing the lives of families still living in the caves. Thin wisps of smoke rise from the cliffs. The locals transform cold rocks into roofs to protect themselves from the harsh highland winters. It is this very moment that reveals the extraordinary resilience of the Afghan people. The heritage here doesn't lie dormant like a museum. It breathes with daily life. Beyond these wounded cliffs, the road narrows into lonelier mountains, and the journey turns toward the Wakhan Corridor. Wakhan Corridor lies in northeastern Afghanistan between Tajikistan, Pakistan, and China. It extends through Badakhshan, where the Hindu Kush meets the Pamirs. The corridor emerged from 19th century border making. Here, rivers begin, glaciers gleam, and distance rules every human decision. Old Silk Road memory still lingers in these mountain passages. Traders, pilgrims, and caravans once crossed this high country towards Central and South Asia. The land opens with impossible scale. Gravel plains run beneath white summits and blue ice. Light pours over tawny slopes, silver streams, and amber grasslands. The sky feels near enough to touch, and silence travels for miles. Every ridge suggests another world beyond the horizon. Among these mountain giants stands Noshak Peak, which is the highest summit of Afghanistan. Its crest rises above the eastern Hindu Kush with brilliance. Snowfields sweep downward into hard shadow and broken glaciers. Dawn turns the upper ice pale gold. In this country of distance, Noshak feels like a cold sovereign. Farther east, the human story changes the rhythm. Kyrgyz nomads move across the Little Pamir with yaks, sheep, goats, horses, and occasional Bactrian camels. They migrate several times each year, following grass weather and survival. Camps gather inside felt yurts or thick mud shelters, depending on the season. Their wealth depends mostly on cattles. Herds provide meat, milk, wool transport, and trade. Wool and animals can also be exchanged for flour, tea, and other essentials. their culture carries a unique beauty. The komuz, a specific kind of guitar, sends out a dry, trembling music inside the yurt. Women bring intense color into this high world through scarves, embroidered textiles, and patterned hangings. Outside, yak dung feeds the stove. A festival meal can begin with sheep slaughtered for honored guests. Islam remains present in prayer blessing and feast days. Hospitality also endures here. They also have their own specialty drinks. Kurut, a hard-dried curd from yak or goat milk, can last through the long, cold months. It softens slowly in the mouth and later enriches winter soup. Salty milk tea, often made with yak milk, stays on the boil for hours. It warms the chest, replaces minerals, and accompanies nearly every conversation. When you arrive in Wakhan Corridor hike or ride through the vast valleys, glacial riverbanks, tall grasslands, and trails leading into Little Pamir. To reach the deepest parts of Wakhan, you'll often need to trek for days through extremely remote terrain. But it is precisely this isolation that makes the region so attractive. The experience of living among the habitat of snow leopards, mountain goats, and wild sheep will also leave you with unforgettable memories. Wakhan is now known as an important territory for snow leopards in Afghanistan. Beyond these roof-of-the-world pastures, darker forests gather and Nuristan begins. Nuristan lies in eastern Afghanistan, deep within the Hindu Kush. The region once bore the name Kafiristan before its conversion to Islam and its renaming at the turn of the 20th century. Nuristan feels immense and remote, as though the mountains were still guarding an older world. Life here follows the mountains' hard terms. Arable land is scarce, so families work tiny plots cut into steep ground. Wheat remains the main crop. Barley, maize, millet, peas, grapes and mulberries support the household through lean seasons. Women take care of the fields, while men often hunt or manage animals on the slopes above. You should travel slowly through the valleys, where cold rivers flow through the forests, and observe how the villages are built according to the steep terrain. The beauty here isn't in a single photo spot, but in the overall feeling of living amidst the mountains, wood, water, and light. Goat is the most important animal for the local people. They provide milk meat, hides hair, and dung for fuel. In wider valleys, some families also keep cattle and a few sheep. Terraced villages cling to the mountains in stacked wooden levels. The forests nearby offer timber for houses and storage rooms, while fresh naan baked from wheat flour is a local specialty dish. It arrives warm and dense beside goat yogurt or goat meat. It is simple filling and deeply suited to highlands. Nuristan is also known for its historical isolation and strong local traditions. So if you have the chance to interact with the locals, listen to their stories about the villages, the forests, the winters, and how people have survived in this harsh terrain. A very important note, Nuristan is currently an extremely sensitive area in terms of security, so please do your research thoroughly before planning a trip. Beyond Nuristan's dark cedar ridges, the road breaks into rock and light. Mahipar Gorge and the Kabul-Jalalabad Highway lie east of Kabul along National Highway 8. The route descends through steep mountain country beside the Kabul River, linking the capital with Jalalabad. It is famous for grandeur peril and unforgettable views. Ash-grey walls rise almost straight above the asphalt. Hairpin bends cling to ledges cut into bare stone. Far below, the river flashes in narrow paths of steel and green. Your heart will tighten as the car begins to navigate the winding curves, clinging precariously to the mountainside. On one side, a massive sheer cliff face, rough and heavy, seems to press against the windshield. On the other, a gaping abyss stretches out. Each meter forward makes your hands unconsciously tighten their grip on the steering wheel. But in return, you'll witness landscapes rarely seen anywhere else. You gaze down at the distant water below, at the layers of mountains stacked upon each other in the silver light, and suddenly find yourself driving through a giant fissure in the earth. In winter, snow dusts the upper ridges. In warmer months, the canyon turns ochre copper and pale white. This highway remains a vital corridor for travel and commerce between Kabul and eastern Afghanistan. As you navigated each bend, you felt a primal sense of pride, as if nature had just allowed you to pass through a treacherous gateway to Afghanistan. Beyond the last bend of Mahipar, the road loosens its grip on stone and opens into a basin of dust, light, and movement. Kabul rises here set within a wide valley beneath the Hindu Kush. It stands as the political and cultural center of Afghanistan, where ancient roots converge and modern life continues under pressure. The city spreads across a dry plain, which is framed by bare hills and distant snow. Morning light settles over low rooftops, pale walls, and long avenues. Traffic hums early. Markets wake quickly. The Kabul River cuts through the city, carrying a thin ribbon of water between crowded districts. Dust lifts easily. Wind carries it through streets, courtyards, and open ground. The Baba Gardens rests on a hillside, where terraced lawns, flowing water, and old trees create a rare calm above the city. Stone paths guide visitors through layered gardens, first laid out in the 16th century. Families gather here. Children run along narrow channels. The city softens for a moment. Across the river stands Darul Aman Palace, a vast structure of stone and broken symmetry. Its long halls and high windows recall a period of reform and ambition in the early 20th century. Above the city rises Bala Hisar, an ancient citadel that has watched over Kabul for centuries. Its walls follow the ridge with quiet authority. Armies once gathered here, rulers held power within its gates. Today, the citadel remains a place of memory, where elevation reveals the full spread of the city below. The craftsmanship is evident in every carpet hand-embroidered garment and metalwork. The intricate patterns reflect the memories and skills passed down through generations. Religion shapes the rhythm of the city. Mosques gather people throughout the day for prayer. Religious holidays structure time and community. Families observe rituals with consistency and respect. You can also visit the Omar Mine Museum or other exhibition spaces like the National Gallery to see Afghanistan tell its story through war art and urban memory. You'll see a Kabul quite different from what's familiar in the media. A very different experience awaits you, a visit to the Kafaroshi bird market. It's a place where time seems to stand still on the ancient Silk Road. The chirping of birds symbolizes the nation's yearning for peace. Amidst harsh living conditions, the people of Kabul still find ways to preserve their refined pleasures. However, Kabul also faces very high security risks. including kidnapping, terrorism, and arbitrary detention. Therefore, you should carefully consider and research thoroughly before deciding to visit. After Kabul, the land opens westward into wider plains, where Herat rises with a quieter elegance. Herat stands near the Iranian border, one of the oldest urban centers in the region. Herat has long connected to Persian culture, trade, and scholarship. The city has endured empires, invasions, and renewal while preserving a distinct identity rooted in art and learning. Herat unfolds across a broad plain, where pale earth meets open sky. Minarets rise above low buildings. Dust moves gently through streets lined with shops and courtyards. Light falls softly here, giving the city a calmer tone than the east. At the heart of Herat stands Herat Great Mosque, a vast complex of courtyards, iwans, and tiled surfaces. Blue and turquoise tiles cover walls in dense, geometric, and floral patterns. Calligraphy flows across arches and domes. Sunlight strikes the tiles and releases a quiet brilliance. Worshippers move across the courtyard, their footsteps echoing against stone. Not far away rises Herat Citadel, a fortress of thick walls and strong towers. Its foundations trace back to the time of Alexander the Great, though much of what stands today reflects later reconstruction. The citadel commands the surrounding land with steady authority. Within its walls, history gathers in layers of brick, timber, and memory. Then, the atmosphere changes again inside the carpet markets of Herat. Narrow passages fill with color, texture, and human voices. Hand-woven carpets hang in dense rows. Each of them carry intricate patterns in deep reds, indigo blues, and warm earth tones. Traders unroll carpets across the floor. Each piece tells a story through thread symbol and repetition. Buyers examine the carpets closely, feeling the weight and softness beneath their hands. This craft has run deep in Herat's cultural life. Families pass weaving skills across generations, preserving technique, pattern, and identity. You can extend your exploration of Herat by visiting its old town districts. There, the medieval city structure remains quite intact, with major thoroughfares radiating through the old residential areas. Beyond Jam's solitary tower, the land opens southward into a harsher immensity. Dasht-e Margo lies across southern Afghanistan, mainly in Helmand and Nimroz. At Dasht-e Margo, you feel like you're entering a vast, empty space on Earth. This is a very large desert region in southern Afghanistan, stretching across Nimruz and Helmand, famously known as the Death Desert. The first impression is the vast scale. Sand ridges roll beneath a bleached sky. The surface here isn't just sand. It also includes clay plains, salt flats, dry rock beds, and rare oases. Therefore, the landscape changes along the way, rather than being monotonous as the familiar image of a desert. In one direction, the land burns copper and ochre. In another, it fades into ash, ivory, and pale gold. Here you can experience near absolute silence, see the horizon stretching far into the distance, and observe the changing light on the landscape. Dawn and dusk are perhaps the two most emotionally charged moments, when the desert transforms from a barren landscape into a tapestry of subtle hues. Three animals give this severity a pulse. The goited gazelle moves across open desert. They are built for arid plains and long visibility. This species has a slender body and long legs, allowing it to run very fast across dry, open terrain. They are usually most active in the early morning and late afternoon, a biological rhythm well suited to the harsh heat of a region like Dasht-e Margo. The sand cat represents the most mysterious aspect of the desert. It is one of the few wild cat species that lives almost entirely in arid, sandy, and gravel environments. Its pale coat helps it blend into the ground. The thick fur on its paws provides both insulation and aids in movement on the hot sand. Its low-set wide ears allow it to hear the movement of prey underground. Therefore, despite its small size, the sandcat is an extremely effective nocturnal hunter. In Dasht-e Margo, the sandcat brings a very quiet charm to the ecosystem. Then comes the Asian houbara bustard, a bird of austere grace, wintering in southern Afghanistan, along desert corridors and open scrub. Each creature carries desert intelligence in a different register. The Asian houbara offers a distinctly different nuance. This large bird of the desert and dry steppe is distinguished by its pale plumage and exceptional ability to blend in with the dust and sand. Its ancestry is closely tied to arid areas with suitable shrub cover, where it feeds, breeds, and shelters. Cup of tea helps connect people, soothes the cold of the desert night, and maintains a sense of peace in the arid, seemingly silent space. If you're accompanied by an experienced local guide, this journey will show you why navigation skills, water management, and timing are so crucial in the deserts of Afghanistan. Different from Dasht-e Margo's lethal silence, the land rises into firmer stone and older memory. Takht-e Rostam stands near Aybak in Samarkand province, northern Afghanistan. The monument dates to the Kushano-Sasanian period around the 4th or 5th century. It remains one of Afghanistan's most remarkable Buddhist sites. Viewed from above, the entire structure resembles a giant well carved with astonishing precision. The setting feels sacred and immense. Pale hills lift above the plain. Light drifts across raw stone and dry grass. The sky seems huge here. Distance hangs over the landscape with a stern mountain stillness. This high ground once stood along routes that linked Bactria, India, and Central Asia. Buddhism traveled through those corridors with merchants, monks, and royal patronage. Takht-e Rostam emerged during an era when Buddhist communities flourished across northern Afghanistan. Builders cut the complex directly into living rock rather than raising brick walls above ground. Its architecture is discipline and surprise. A circular stupa rises from a rock-cut court with a harmika still visible above. Around it lie chambers, sanctuaries, and caves cut into the hill. One sanctuary carries a domed ceiling with lotus decoration. When you go deeper, the corridors descend through stone with a cool hush. Every surface suggests labor devotion and an exact understanding of sacred space. The monument combines Buddhist ritual design with the severe grandeur of monolithic carving. In a country marked by loss, Takht-e Rostam still holds its silence with dignity. Standing next to Takht-e Rostam, you'll feel like you're touching the intersection of ancient Buddhism, Persian memory, and Afghan history. Beyond Takht-e Rostam's carved silence, another citadel rises over Bamiyan's high country stern against wind and distance. Chehel Burj stands in Yakolang district near Band-e Amir on a hill above a river valley. This is a historic fortress of 40 towers tied to Bamiyan's older military landscape and long heritage. The hill lifts alone above the valley floor, carrying the fort into clear view across the surrounding land. This isolation gave the site strategic force in earlier centuries and still gives it grandeur today. Chehel Burj likely began in the pre-Islamic era, possibly between the 2nd and 5th centuries. The complex later became part of local memory legend and pride, which helped sustain its aura across many generations. A fort like this guarded roots and also drew people together during public celebrations. That legacy still matters in Bamiyan, where ancient sites carry memory beyond their ruined walls. Residents see Chehel Burj as part of the province's deep identity and as a resource that could support visitors and local income. Preservation remains urgent. Natural damage looting and earlier excavations have already weakened the site. Local officials called for protection, reconstruction, security, and broader public awareness. Even UNESCO-linked support was mentioned in those efforts. The road leaves Bamiyan's wind-scoured ruins behind and enters a harsher south where dust, heat, and memory gather in Kandahar. Kandahar stands in southern Afghanistan, near old caravan routes that linked Iran, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. It was the first capital which is chosen by Ahmad Shah Durrani, the founder of modern Afghanistan. Today, Kandahar remains one of the country's oldest and most influential cities. The city rests on a broad plain beneath low ridges and a vast sky. Light arrives hard here. Even the streets seem to breathe out the heat. Yet Kandahar holds a grave magnetism from dynasty faith and endurance. At the city's center stands the mausoleum of Ahmad Shah Durrani. The monument rises on an octagonal plan beneath a luminous blue dome. Tall minarets frame its roofline. Painted floral detail glows above carpets and marble. Then you can go westward to Chilzina, which is called the 40 Steps. 40 stone steps carved directly into the mountainside lead to a vantage point overlooking the city and its western gateway. In terms of daily life, Kandahar is appealing because of its markets and orchards surrounding the city. The Kandahar region has long been known for its pomegranates, grapes, and melons, thanks to the irrigated farmland around the city and the fertile Wakhan Valley. Another unique aspect of Kandahar's experience is feeling the Pashtun culture right where it is most strongly manifested. Here, you'll find that honor, hospitality, tribal cohesion, and local pride are not abstract concepts. They are principles in how people meet, interact, and preserve this city over time. Mes Aynak lies in Logar province, south of Kabul, on a rich copper deposit. It is one of Afghanistan's most important archaeological sites where mining belief and empire once stood side by side. Ochre ridges rise above a dry basin. Long light slides across bare slopes. Wind crosses the hill in thin, dusty strokes. Beneath this severe ground, copper drew people here for centuries. The site was first identified in the 1960s, then studied again in the 1970s. Excavations since 2009 have revealed a vast settlement spread across several square kilometers. Mes Aynak began as a mining center, probably in the Bronze Age, and continued into the first centuries before and after Christ. Buddhist communities later established fortified monasteries around the working zone. Chapels, stupas, residential quarters, workshops, and defensive walls gathered around the rocky promontory. Mining and worship lived close together here. Economic life supported religious life, and religious prestige elevated the settlement's standing. Its architecture still feels astonishing. Mud statues of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas once filled shrines and niches. Wall paintings carried strong color across sacred interiors. UNESCO and Afghan institutions have documented the site, assessed structural risks, and explored ways to conserve key areas in place. Every measure feels temporary against the pressure of extraction. Yet even now, Mes Aynak endures as a final reminder that Afghanistan's deepest wealth has never belonged to copper alone. At the end of this journey, Afghanistan no longer feels like a single story. The country reveals itself through layers of silence, endurance, and unexpected beauty. From the blue stillness of Band-e Amir to the carved memory of Bamiyan Valley. High above the winds of Wakhan Corridor, move across peaks and nomadic paths. Cities like Kabul, Herat, and Kandahar hold memory in stone faith and human effort. In forgotten places, like Mes Aynak, history rests beneath the earth, waiting between loss and preservation. Afghanistan, a land of vast beauty and constant struggle. A place where civilizations rise, fade, and leave their trace behind. And perhaps that is why it feels like a forgotten paradise, because beneath the noise of conflict, something older, quieter, and far more enduring continues to exist. If this journey has given you deeper insights into the world, please continue to follow us by subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you on our next trips.